Alright, so I'm just going to do another one of those eyeball boxes that I made. So, I guess we'll get started. I'm just kind of doing this probably not going to be, that creeps me out. Okay, making that weird noise. I'm probably not going to be measuring too much, but I'm going to, I've got a placemat on there. It's like a silicone mat. It'll keep it from scratching. I've got a box underneath because this can get messy. And then I also have a cardboard that's already cut out. It's not going to be the entire size of this, but I'm going to try and make a box with the bottom almost the size of this, but we'll just play it by ear because I was going to do a smaller box just like the one that I did before. And actually, give me a second and I'll go get the box that I already did. I gotta pause this. Okay, so here's the box that I did last time. I didn't do a video on this, but I did this. I was gonna put a bunch of eyeballs on it and stuff, but I just decided to put a little bit of emojis on it, not anything that really pops out as far as the faces. I wanted it to kind of blend in with the box. And then of course I put my artist name at the bottom. I engraved all of this myself. This is all handmade that I did. I didn't make the clay on this one though, but on my Kirby project, I made homemade clay. So everything on the Kirby project is all homemade except for the paint. Anyway, but this is what I called the eyeball project originally, and it's got my glitter in it, just kind of something fun. But I'm gonna try and make another one of these boxes. It's gonna be a little bit bigger than this one, and of course it looks like a stick of gum on the bottom. It has its own little character. Anyway. So that's this, but I'm going to try and make a little bit bigger of a box like I said, and this is going to have like my personal products, like not anything, it's not anything crazy, but it'll have like my makeup, it'll have some maybe hairspray, some lotion, stuff like that, maybe even some nail polish. I don't know, I just kind of like to do different things, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I'm using air dry clay. It just makes it a lot more easy because right now my kiln is not exactly working right now. So anyways, so I'm using air dry clay. It looks like this, and I'm just gonna kind of go from here. I need to get some water. My throat is so dry. It's hot in this house. Always stay hydrated. And I have a Dr. Pepper here too for my sugar, because without sugar, if you're just drinking just purely water, it doesn't always help with your cognitive thinking. So I like to mix it a little bit, but I don't pour it in. Well, you get the idea. I'm drinking my water, staying hydrated. As you can tell, I kind of lost my voice. I'm probably going to have to go see the doctor on that one because I have lumbar sciatica, and anybody that knows what that's like, when your nerves are compressed, it can affect not just the bottom part of your body, but it can affect the rest of your body, and it also is connected to the central nervous system because your head is connected to your spine, and your spine connects to the sciatic nerve area. Okay, so it just kind of, if you get pinched nerves and then you got the pressure and it's all compressed, and then it just goes from the bottom part of your body and it just goes right up to here and here. And there's other things that are factoring in with that too, along with I have PTSD. I was in a very abusive relationship. I'm not anymore. I am out of that relationship. Actually, I'm out of 2 abusive relationships. I had to leave both the guys. They were LMNOPs. That's all I'm going to say on that. Just LMNOPs. I got to ground myself before we get started. Remind myself it's just an LMNOP. I deserve better. Okay, anyways, let's get started. Now, I didn't measure anything, so I'm going to have to... This might take a moment to get the bottom of this, because I don't have a roller right now. This is going to probably use quite a bit of this clay. We'll see how this goes. Let's start with this. I hope that's enough. And if it isn't, okay, let's see how that goes. I'm going to start. Oh gosh, this is a nightmare. Okay. I'm going to start with this amount. Okay, actually, let's see, I think you can still see it that way. I try to keep it to where you can see, but I like to, excuse me, I like to get this all together. And now it can be a little dry at times. If it's dry, you'll want to, actually it's pretty moist, this one. But it's, see, if it cracks or anything, if your clay cracks, you can put a little bit of water in there. I'm trying not to make a mess. This, like I said, this is a very messy project. Okay, let me see how I'm going to do this, because I like to kind of start it out. I do things a little strange, but I like it that way. Okay, you might need a little more. Okay. I need a roller, really. That's what I really truly need. Because that's just how it is. Okay. Definitely need a roller. I might change my mind on the size. Just because. Whoops. Leave it to me to do anything crazy. Let's see, we'll do this. I'll do my stuff a little different. Alright. And you know, actually, I will be right back. There's another way I could do this to make it way easier. I'll be right back. Okay, now, you can do it that other way, but the other way, it's just taking too long in my opinion. And let me see here how I was going to do this. I'm going to try this and go from there. Like I said, I need a roller. Because what I want to do is something a little. This is why I don't like doing this with this pencils so much. This is what I was saying. Oh, I'm getting irritated. Okay, so I'm going to do something different here. I'm getting irritated. I really do need a roller. But I like how it feels because it's like, oh, to me it feels a lot better. This is going to be a little bit slower of a process than I thought. Maybe I should have done a marker instead. I'll be right back. I'm going to attempt to do this with this. Oh, way easier. Okay. This actually works way better. So I'm using a highlighter. No, don't dog on me because I kind of had to leave everything I had behind. Like when you are in a relationship with somebody who is doing their own things, you tend to have to replace things quite often. And most people don't really realize that if they've never been in that situation. I mean, how would they know? But it can be very frustrating. Okay. Now there's going to be a lot of okay. I'm just going to do it my way. The crystal way. The Misfit Me way. It's not perfect. And I don't like it to be perfect because if it was perfect, then wouldn't have a reason to try and perfect what's not perfect already. Okay. The only thing I don't like about this is it's not long enough. I need one of those long ones. Ooh, everything's shaking. If you have epilepsy, it's probably because of my shaking. I pray for people who have that though, because it's not enjoyable for sure. And I wouldn't want anybody to be sick like that at all. Okay. I think I'm just going to leave it like that because if I do it any more, it's going to... Let's see how this works. Okay, good enough. Okay, it's not going to be exactly, it's not going to be perfect to a T. But I need to close that, otherwise my clay will dry. Okay, so now I have this. So we'll just do it this way. And I'm going to use this as my guide because it is going to be as wide as this. La 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 la. The smell of your skin lingers on me now. Hotel. Happy ending today. Is serenity. Okay. Reminds me of a big slab of cream cheese. To be honest. And so now I'm hungry, kind of. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this part. And so that's pretty much want it to be perfect. Okay. All right. An escapee. It's escaping it. You see this? It tries to, these little pieces right here, they try to escape. And they're not going anywhere. Not if I can help it anyway. Okay, so now I'm going to just do the border like I did on this. Okay, so I have my slab. Now it's not going to be 100% perfect, but we can make it perfect actually. Let me see. We'll just cut off this part. That should be perfect now. Oh, it's going to do this to me. It was all coming off nice and easy until this happened. Happy ending today. Serenity. Now you know that it has nothing to do with you. It's person. Big girls don't cry. Good enough. Okay. Always make sure that you have that because you don't want to hurt yourself. Okay, now I'm going to go get the water. This is why I have these bowls, because I can put water in it. And of course I got my Q-tips. So this project I'm gonna need this. I'm gonna start making my righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I am gonna score all of this because I want it to stick. So I'm gonna do this. Okay. I'm gonna make my little balls. See here. Probably make them. And I'm gonna dip it and put it on there. Okay, I'm gonna need more clay, so this is I'm gonna grab another chunk here. We'll just go a little at a time because I don't want everything to dry. Just a second. Back hurts. Oh God, my back hurts so bad. And I think I'm gonna need a water break. It is way too hot in this house. Okay. So I think you can still see. Okay. So. And you want to score the bottom of each item that you're trying to place. Whatever that is. So like I'm rolling little balls, so you'll want to score the bottom of the ball and the top of the surface of where you're going to place the ball. So these are going to go all the way around the edge, but it's easier to score if you're doing an edge. It's easier to score it all the way around first and then just one by one place them, so then that way you're not wasting clay and you're not wasting time, and it makes it all a lot easier. Okay, let's try to. So you want it to look like this after you score it. Okay, so that way it has something to hold on to. You put a little bit of water on it so it'll look like this. And then you just press it on, or I like, since it's round, sometimes I like to kind of move them in a little bit of a circle, but I don't go in a full circle. I just go in a twisty movement. So that way it'll kind of lock itself in to where I have it. Okay, so this okay, so I'm gonna see how I'm just kind of scoring it. Now you want to be careful because I'm using an X-Acto blade on mine. So, but some people, you can use some sort of cutting tool. You could use a pencil even, but I wouldn't use a pencil if you get graphite in your clay. I don't recommend that. Just depends on the project. So like this one, it's kind of slippery because I put water on. So I guess I didn't need to move that around too much. Okay, so now I'm going to have to get some more clay. Use quite a bit of it actually in this one. So let's grab a chunk. See, I'm going a little by little at a time because I don't want my clay to dry out, and so I just put the bag that the clay came in right in there. You pop on the lid and then it stays moist so that I'm not wasting my clay, like I said, because you definitely don't want your clay to be dry when you're doing this project. I'm just picking up some of the pieces that were a little loose. Okay, just get about this much clay. Okay, and then you want to roll it up in the palm of your hand. Okay, but palm to palm, and just roll it like this to get it that round shape. So it'll come out like that. Okay, and then you score it. Okay, so now let's do this. This one has a little bit too much on there. Okay. So again, take palm to palm, palm to palm, okay, and roll it. You want it to be round. Doesn't have to be perfectly round, but you get the idea. Okay, so then there's my scoring again. I'm gonna dip it in water. Now you don't want to like put the whole thing in, just put the bottom in and just dip it lightly into the water because you don't need a whole lot of water for this. Now, once this is all done, then we're gonna smooth everything out. But for right now, we'll do it this way. And if you have any extra water on your hands, you can knead it into this, but you don't want it to be so soaked that you can't work with the clay because, again, it doesn't need to be 100% perfect. But again, I just do the top part of each ball. Make sure you don't slice your fingers because, again, I'm using an X-Acto blade, so X-Acto blades are very sharp and you have to use precaution. So always use safety first when doing anything with a knife or any type of anything that you can cut yourself with. You want to be careful because you never know. Okay, so we're almost done with this, but I think that this should be enough clay for this side. But I'm going to put another one right here. So I'll do this. Okay, but that one's going to be kind of on the edge, or the corner, I should say, not the edge. Well, they're all on the edge, sort of. Okay, so I'll just let that sit there for a minute. Let's see here. Get that. Oh my! It's running away. I guess we're playing Nintendo today. Wow. And I'm going to take a water break. I'm super overheated. It's way too hot to be running a furnace, I think. I'm not running the furnace, but you know, if it was my my choice, I'd have it off. But I'm not the only person in this house. Okay, so there's that. So I probably should have room for like 2 more. So I'm gonna go in and get. Let's see, that's big. Okay. Let's do it like this. Let's see here. You roll it between your hands, palm to palm. Okay. Perfect little ball. Okay, and I'm going to stick this here. Make sure that's on tight enough. Let's see here. Yeah, there should be room for 1 more right here. So that should be enough. We could probably add a little bit more to this. So now we have our first rim. As you can see, I scored it again. Okay. Dip. Little twisty. Okay. Okay, now there's the first rim. Okay, now for the rest here, we're gonna keep doing that. So I'm gonna make sure that it's pressed down but not too tight because I don't want to smash everything. Let me double check something real quick. Alright, so we're good. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing around here. Now I'm going to get some more clay. Here. So you can see it. Get some more. Okay, then this is all I got left out of this entire thing. That's 5 pounds of clay. Okay, I'm going to take a chunk right there. Okay. And that's actually pretty good because that makes quite a bit actually. And for what I was doing, that's perfect amount. Okay, now I'm going to make another ball. Okay, so now we're going to just do. Roll it. Okay. It's about the same size, okay? So now do the same thing. Okay, now you want to score the top part, not just here, but you also want to score it where you're putting it. So I'm going to put it right here. So actually I'm going to go across each one. Okay, so now dip, 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 and apply. Okay, now I'm going to do something different here. Okay, because of the way things are going. Just going to squirt on all of them. Okay. Just to make it easier. I'm just going to do it on all of these. Sometimes if you don't, okay, now sometimes you have to do the sides too. Just want to make sure that you get all of it, you know, so that way it actually sticks, because you don't want your piece when you're done to fall apart. It just gives it more I guess I want to say structure, but that wasn't the word I was looking for. More tread, if you want to call it that. Gives it more tread. Something that it can hold on to, more like a grasp. You know, like tires have tread on them, so they can grab onto the road better, so that way you're not slipping all over the place when you're, like, more traction if you want to give it that. But we're not going to really be needing traction here too much because we're not really moving so much. I mean, but if that's one way you can look at it when you're scoring, it gives it a better grip. We'll just do it this way. La da da da, smell of your skin lingers on me now. That's perfume. Ah. Now, I've done this for many years, so I'm a little bit quicker than most, so I know what I'm doing. Now, there are people that are just as good as I am, like amazing. There's all kinds of amazing artists, so I'm not the only one. But it's one of my safety rules and one of my rules for anything when it comes to knives or anything, especially in pottery and artwork. If you know anything about artwork, we deal with a lot of tools, and some tools can burn you, scrape you, hurt you. And if you're not mindful or careful, or safety first, then you can really hurt yourself if you don't know what you're doing, or if you're just not being careful. It's pretty explanatory, but I like to say safety first because that's a big deal. Because like I said, this is a really sharp. This is an X-Acto blade. There are other tools you can use, but I use the X-Acto blade for this because that's, like I said, when I was with my ex, I lost a lot of belongings during the breakup because, well, like I said, when you're being abused, your life is more important. Your safety is more important. Other people's safety, not just yours, is also important, including animals. You just got to be mindful that there are things in life that are just more important. So sometimes leaving your belongings behind, losing everything, including even money, is worth saving your life. Okay. I'd rather be alive than worry about a piece of, not a piece of anything, I'd rather be alive than worry about having money or whatever. At least I left, because you never know. And you can always replace anything, really. And what can you not serve? If anybody believes in God, like I do, that you can't serve both God and money. Okay, I'm going to do this on the sides. I didn't do that to the first one, but I think I'm going to try that this time. Let's do it my way. The way I made this, I didn't want everything to be the exact same size, just because even getting it different sizes also is fun. Okay, so now I'm gonna probably do a little bit smaller than that one. That one was a little too big, I think, for me. It was a little too big for a little size ball for the wall there. Oh my gosh. I'm messy. Rather than I think I'm not going to be messy, I'm getting it everywhere. This is what I'm talking about. I tell you, even a professional makes a mess. Come on now. Forget it. Okay. I'll throw that right there. Okay. Anyway. Okay, let's put this on this side. I'm going to score the side there. And I'm going to do that with all of these now. Smell of your skin lingers on me now. Okay, see here. I forgot what song that was. Have a happy ending today. I hope you know. See, my throat is so dry. It is way too dry. It was way too hot in this house. It should not be hot outside like this inside a house. Okay, so now we got the second layer on that side off then. Let's do this. Don't forget to score. Okay. Okay, we're gonna need more because obviously, so I'm going back in. You always want to make sure that you have something covering your clay when you're storing it because it'll keep it more moist, but you don't want to put a napkin in there. Don't stick stuff like this in, otherwise it'll absorb all the water and it's like putting it in rice. So you want to put plastic, preferably, in your container or wherever you're storing your thing. So this is the second layer. Okay, let's just do this now to this side. Okay, so you want it to kind of look like a little grate, I guess you want to say, when you score your pieces. Okay. All right. Should be good. Palm to palm, don't forget. Let's put this. I like do this. Okay, so dunk it in the water. Do. Stick it on. Sometimes you have to go back and roll it around just to kind of get it to form its little shape now. But you see, now it's not going to be 100% perfect like I said, but you want to get it somewhat round. There is no Miss Perfect here, or Mr. Perfect. There's nothing perfect about it. It's perfect with imperfections, because without those perfections or the imperfections, actually no, let me say that again. Without the imperfections, there would be no way to perfect. So, and you don't need a whole lot of water. Like I said, you don't need that much. See? Just a little dunk, you know, not a whole lot, just a little. Stick it on there. Okay, I'm going to press it down a little bit and then kind of push each one together, you know, so that way, so that we're going to get the rim down. Okay, we're going to score again, so we're going to score this side. Okay, so what I'm doing is this. But you want it, for me, I like to do like a little crosshatch sort of. Because it just makes it easier. Okay, now I'm gonna do this. So now we're getting kind of at a weird angle. Okay, so I'm gonna do it this way. Just make sure you don't cut your finger. Okay. You can do a stipple too, but I'm not going to do that in this video. Just like that. I'm going to press that down. So now we're going around this way. I might just start here because it makes you see here. Perfect. So I'm going to start from over here. Okay, so I guess I needed more play than I anticipated, so just go in. I'm just going to do it in small bits this time because I don't want to overuse any clay. I might do another rim, but I'm not so sure I'll have enough, so we might have to stop it at this. Okay, so kind of push it on there. Okay. Let's see here. We'll have enough for 2 more. But one will have to be a little bit smaller than the others, to be honest. See, because I added another one, you know, so just one of those things, you know. Okay, so now we're going to do this. Should be plenty. Add a little bit more in there. Plenty of space. Okay, so just go like this. Let's see here. I think I'll just do one more rim. We'll just go for it. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Okay, so now I'm going to do that to just make some more. Okay, I'm going to make smaller ones this time. We'll just alternate. Oh, that one's too big. I'm gonna take that off a little bit. Okay. See. Okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to pause this because but we'll see. But I'm gonna do this to the entire side of the box. So all of it.
Crystal, Jeffrey tore this.
Okay, so I unpaused this. Alright, so I'm just gonna finish up the rim on there. So pretty much almost used the entire thing. Not the entire 5 pounds of clay, but the rest of it that I had left on there. So I probably still have like a little tiny chunk left. But okay, so I'm gonna, like I said, you score the sides. And you make sure you score the sides on this too. Make sure it's round to your liking. Whoa, it's a rollaway. Okay, so go score this. Okay. Just dip it and then apply it. Okay, and I think enough for just one more. Make it a little bit bigger. You know how to room for 2. Okay, there should be. Perfect. Okay. Alright, so I've left us with this amount. It's quite a bit, actually. And so the rest can go in here. We'll use that for a different day. Make sure it's sealed all the way so you don't get it, doesn't dry out. Okay. Now I'm going to take my finger and smooth out the inside. Dip, dip. Okay, that should be. Okay. Now this. Smooth out. Okay. rotate this. Make sure it's together. So I'm just smoothing it out just so on the inside so that way the cracks are filled in. And then on the outside I'm just going to leave it the way it is, and then I'll paint it. And then it's going to take about 2 to 3 days to dry fully. So we'll let that do its work. But in the next video we'll do the painting. Alright, again, I'm Misfitme, and I hope you had a great day.